It's 11:43 p.m. on a Wednesday. Your laptop screen is the only light in the room. You've been at this for 3 hours. You found the listing 2 weeks ago, and it felt different from the others. The role matched your background almost perfectly. The salary range was right. The company seemed solid. You actually got excited about it, which almost never happens anymore. So you did everything right. You rewrote your resume to mirror their exact language. You spent an entire Sunday on the cover letter. Real time, real thought, real effort. You made an account on their third-party portal. You manually re-entered every single thing that was already on your resume, because apparently that's just what we do now. You hit submit, and then you waited. Day 5, nothing. Day 12, nothing. Day 20, nothing. So you go back to the listing to double-check the deadline. Still active, still posted, still accepting applications. You refresh LinkedIn, the job has been reposted. Same description, new date, like nothing happened. And somewhere in the back of your mind, a thought starts forming that you don't want to finish. What if nobody was ever going to get this job? Not you, not anyone else who applied, not the hundreds of people who spent their evenings doing exactly what you did. What if the job was never real? That feeling you have right now, that combination of exhaustion, confusion, and quiet humiliation, that is the ghost job experience. And in 2026, it is happening to 1 in 3 applicants. Tonight, we are pulling back the curtain on exactly what is going on, exactly why these companies are doing it, and exactly what they are doing with your resume after you hit send. What's up, everyone? It's Soluna. Welcome to Soluna versus the System. Today, we are exposing one of the most widespread and least talked about scams in the modern job market: ghost jobs. Fake listings, real application portals, zero intention of ever hiring anyone. If you have been applying for jobs and getting absolutely nothing back, not even a rejection, there is a real chance you have been sending your time, your energy, and your personal information directly into a corporate void. By the end of this video, you will know exactly what ghost jobs are, exactly why companies post them, what they are actually doing with your data, and what you can do to protect yourself. Let's get into it. Let's start with the basic definition, because it matters. A ghost job is a job listing that looks completely legitimate. It has a title, a full description, requirements, a salary range, an application deadline, the whole thing. But there is zero intention of hiring anyone for that role. The job does not exist. It was never going to exist. And yet it is sitting there on Indeed, on LinkedIn, on the company's own careers page, collecting applications from real people who are putting in real effort to try to get it. In 2026, research suggests that approximately 1 in 3 job listings falls into this category in some form. 1 in 3. That means, statistically, for every 3 jobs you apply to, one of them was never going to result in a hire no matter what you did, no matter how perfect your resume was, no matter how tailored your cover letter, no matter how qualified you were. The position simply did not exist. And here's the part that makes this genuinely disturbing. You cannot tell which ones are real. There's no label, no disclosure, no warning. They look identical to legitimate listings because they are designed to look identical to legitimate listings. So job seekers do what any rational person would do. They treat every application full effort, and a significant chunk of that effort goes directly into a corporate strategy that was never about hiring them at all. So why do companies do this? There are 4 specific reasons, and each one is more calculated than the last. The first reason is the one that operates at the highest level, and the one most people never think about: optics. When a major company posts 200 open job listings, what does that signal to the outside world, to investors, to shareholders, to the financial press? It signals health, it signals growth, it signals expansion and momentum and confidence. We are hiring, we are scaling, we are going somewhere. In the corporate world, the number of open positions is treated as a proxy for company health. More listings equals more growth, equals more investor confidence, equals a higher stock price. So a company that is actually struggling, quietly doing layoffs, cutting budgets, freezing actual headcount, can simultaneously post dozens of ghost listings to maintain the appearance of expansion for the audiences that matter to their valuation. The investors see the listings and feel reassured. The press covers the hiring boom. The stock holds steady. And not a single one of those positions was ever going to result in someone getting hired. This is not a conspiracy theory. This is a documented, publicly discussed corporate practice, and it starts at the very top of how these organizations manage their public narrative. Your application is not part of a hiring process. It is a prop in a financial performance. This one is darker and more personal. Some ghost job listings are not aimed at the public at all. They are aimed at the people already working inside the company. Here's how it works. You are employed at a large company. Things have been a little tense lately, restructuring conversations, budget talk, a general sense that something is shifting. Nothing concrete yet, just a vague unease. Then, one afternoon during your lunch break, you open LinkedIn and you see your own job posted. Same title, same description, applications, open. And immediately your brain starts doing the math. Are they replacing me? Is my position being eliminated? Do I need to start looking? What does that do to your behavior in the following weeks? You come in earlier, you stay later. You go above and beyond on everything. You stop pushing back on things you would normally push back on. You become easier to manage, more compliant, more eager to demonstrate your value, because you suddenly feel like your position is not guaranteed. And that is exactly what those listings were designed to produce. The fear of replacement is one of the most effective behavioral management tools available to large organizations, and posting a ghost listing for an already filled role costs them nothing, while generating weeks of heightened performance and reduced resistance from the employee who sees it. You were never going to be replaced, but they needed you to think you might be. Now we get to the one that most people find the most unsettling once they understand what is actually happening. When you apply to a ghost job, when you upload your resume, fill out the application, enter your work history, your skills, your experience, your salary expectations, your references, everything, and in return, you received absolutely nothing, not even a rejection, but they received everything they needed from you. Your data is now sitting in a corporate vault, tagged and categorized, waiting to be used at a time and in a way that serves their interests, not yours. You donated your professional profile to a company that never had any intention of offering you anything in return, and you did it voluntarily because you thought you were applying for a job. This fourth reason is the most legally specific and the one that generates the most legitimate outrage. In the United States, companies that want to hire foreign workers through the H-1B visa program are legally required to demonstrate something first, that they made a genuine effort to find qualified local candidates and couldn't. That requirement exists to protect American workers. The logic is, if there are qualified people already here who can do the job, you should hire them first before bringing someone in from abroad, often at a lower cost. But here's the problem with that requirement when it runs up against corporate financial incentives. Some companies want to hire H-1B workers not because there are no qualified local candidates, but because it is cheaper. The cost savings are significant. The incentive is real. So how do you satisfy the legal requirement to demonstrate that you tried to find local candidates while never actually intending to hire one? You post a ghost listing. You collect applications from local candidates, you hire nobody, and now you have legal documentation that you posted the role, accepted applications, and were unable to find suitable local candidates, which clears the regulatory pathway to bring in the H-1B worker you wanted all along. To be precise, this is not the reason behind every ghost job, or even most ghost jobs. It is a fraction of the overall practice. but it is a documented fraction. It is real. It is happening. And if it applied to your application, you were not just ignored, you were used as legal cover. I want to take a moment here and step away from the corporate mechanics and talk about the human cost, because it is real and it is significant, and it does not get discussed nearly enough. Applying for jobs is already one of the most psychologically draining experiences a professional can go through. You are putting yourself forward over and over in a process designed to evaluate and often reject you. That takes courage every single time. It takes energy, time, hope, and a willingness to be vulnerable in a professional context. Now, add to that the knowledge that a significant portion of the listings you are applying to were never real. Think about what that does to a person's sense of reality. You do everything right. You tailor the resume, you write the cover letter, you research the company, you submit, you wait, you hear nothing. And you don't even get a rejection, because a rejection requires someone to have looked at your application, made a decision, and communicated it. A rejection is honest. A rejection means the process was real, even if the outcome wasn't what you wanted. What ghost jobs give you, instead, is a void. You scream into it, and nothing comes back. And because you cannot see which listings are fake, you cannot protect yourself from the emotional toll of investing in them. You have to treat every application as real, which means every ghost job that catches you extracts full effort, full time, full hope, full vulnerability, and returns nothing. Over weeks and months, that accumulates. It erodes confidence. It creates self-doubt. It makes people question whether they are the problem when the problem was never them at all. That psychological cost is not a side effect of the ghost job strategy. For some applications, particularly the ones used to keep employees in check, the psychological pressure is precisely the point. So, what do you actually do with this information? You cannot eliminate ghost jobs from the market. You cannot force companies to label fake listings, but you can be smarter about how you allocate your energy, and there are specific signals to look for. Signal 1. The listing has been reposted multiple times. If you see the same role with the same description reposted every 30 days with a new date, that is a significant red flag. Legitimate roles that aren't being filled get updated or closed. Ghost listings get recycled. Signal 2. The listing has been active for an unusually long time. Most real roles, especially in competitive hiring markets, move relatively quickly. A listing that has been sitting open for 60, 90, 120 days with no updates is worth approaching with skepticism. Signal 3. There is no named recruiter or contact attached to the listing. Legitimate hiring processes almost always have a human attached at some point. Anonymous listings with no point of contact, no recruiter name, no way to follow up, those are worth flagging. Signal 4. The company recently announced layoffs or a hiring freeze. Cross-reference the job listing against recent company news. A company that just announced a round of layoffs, posting dozens of open roles at the same time, is almost certainly using those listings for optics, not hiring. Signal 5. You can find the same role already filled on LinkedIn. Search for current employees at that company with the exact title being posted. If someone is already doing that job and has been for years with no indication of departure, the listing is likely either a ghost or an internal talent pipeline play. Beyond the signals, the most important shift is strategic. Stop giving every application the same level of effort. Reserve your full customization, the deeply tailored resume, the personal cover letter, the hours of research, for roles where you have been able to verify that the listing is active and real. For everything else, use a strong standard application that represents you well but does not cost you an entire evening. Protect your energy like it is a finite resource, because it is. Here's what I want you to walk away understanding at the deepest level. Ghost jobs are not a glitch in the system. They are a feature of the system. They exist because large organizations operate with a set of priorities: shareholder perception, talent acquisition at scale, legal compliance, employee management. All of that have very little overlap with the interests of the people applying for jobs. Your application is useful to them in multiple ways that have nothing to do with hiring you. It signals health to investors, it generates fear in current employees, it populates a talent database, it satisfies regulatory requirements for cheaper labor strategies. All of that value gets extracted from you, your time, your data, your emotional energy, in exchange for nothing, and it is completely legal. Understanding that is not meant to make you cynical or hopeless, it is meant to make you strategic. Because the job market in 2026 is not broken. It is functioning exactly as it was designed to function, for the organizations that built it, not for the people navigating it. Your job is to navigate it with your eyes open. That 11:43 p.m. feeling, laptop screen glowing, 3 hours in, waiting for a reply that was never coming from a job that was never real, you did not deserve that. Nobody does. And the fact that it's happening to 1 in 3 applicants right now, today, in this market, that's not okay. It's not something to quietly accept as part of the process. You needed to know this. So here's my question. Drop it in the comments right now. Have you ever applied to a job and suspected it was a ghost listing? What happened? I read every single comment, and I promise someone reading yours is going to feel significantly less alone in what they've been going through. If you know someone who's job hunting right now and grinding through applications with nothing coming back, send them this video today, because sometimes the silence is not about them. And if you want to keep learning how the systems around you actually work, not how they claim to work, but how they actually work, subscribe right now. I'm Soluna. I'll see you in the next one.